The $1 million major is well underway right now. Welcome back to ESL One Katowice 2018, our first stop in Katowice in the history of ESL One. Welcome to the 10th edition. We've had 9 previous winners. Are we going to get a 10th? There is one team in the top 4 right now that don't have an ESL One title, and that's Liquid, and they are up next in action in the semi-final, just one series away from guaranteeing themselves yet another top 6 finish. Standing in their way are the Chinese giants Vici, who've made plenty of moves themselves through the DPC this season, having finished in the top 2 3 times, yet to claim a title. We're back with our panel once more to break this down. Also, a quick note for you, second stream right now as well has the knockout game between OG and Defect. That one will determine who stays and who goes. That's on the second stream. Right now, though, don't switch over too far, because we've got 3 wonderful gentlemen alongside me to bring you our semi-final of this upper bracket. Alan, excited Nahaz, Purge, who's always excited, and Will, who frankly can't get excited about anything other than cryptocurrencies. How you doing, boys?
Very good. We just had a heated argument off camera.
You did. I was really.
Tension here.
I did not want to. I was like, I've got this thing I need to talk to you about, but I didn't want to interrupt you because you were going at it, and it was really good. I almost wish someone could have recorded that and we could have played that when we got some time or something.
That's like one of the most fun things for me. These lands, though, I love to be able to poke these guys about just theory crafting stuff.
Yeah.
It's very hard to design Dota. That's all. That's all needs to be said.
Yeah. It's a very complex game.
It is. Yes.
Requires complex minds, of which we've got 3 right now.
It's hard to know what makes it good. Sometimes it's very easy to just play the game and be like, oh, this is a great game.
But everyone has a different opinion, don't they? Like a different. I like this, therefore I want it to go that way. And
yeah.
I'm already baiting him in, and he was on the hook there, wasn't he? Will, talk to me about Liquid right now. They are the only team that have won an ESL One. They're probably the favourites for this tournament, but they've got a few roadblocks in the way. One of which is VG, isn't it?
They got kind of close.
Yeah.
They almost won Manila.
Genting. They almost won Genting. Yep.
Yes, Genting, but also Manila. They've been in the finals twice.
I'd have to check that.
They were.
Okay.
I was.
I'm gonna trust you. You're such a trusting person.
Because I was the coach for them at that time, right?
Right. Well, you should remember that more than I do, then.
You remember those.
It was twice. I'll tell you a fun anecdote because enough time has passed.
Okay.
So it's like you remember at that event. There was a Secret, right? And they got bodied by, I think, like Empire or something like that. They got crushed. And at the time, me and Arteezy were just being dicks to each other. So, I said like 2-0, 2-0, 2-0 to him because they got 2-0'd. And then he was asking me like, oh, when are you going to be at the after party? I was like, oh, I have to cast this series real fast. And, I was the Liquid coach. I had a lot of pride. I was like, screw wings. Like, we'll 3-0 them real fast. So I said, like, we'll 3-0 them real fast and we'll come to the after party real fast.
Yes.
Then Liquid got bodied.
Yes.
3-0, and then when it ended, I checked my DMs, and it was just him spamming 3-0 for maybe like 4.5 minutes. I had to scroll for so long.
That's fantastic. That's almost as bad as me spamming Fold with pictures for Sir Action Slacks as Crystal Maiden.
Yes.
Ugh.
Ooh, wow.
But on topic,
so I'd bring that back up.
Liquid, I think, is the 2nd best team in the world, in my personal opinion.
Okay.
I think that Secret is a little bit better, and I think that Kuro does not stand for that.
Yeah.
He will want to prove his mark here. I know they were bitterly disappointed when they lost in front of what he considered his home crowd at ESL Hamburg when they lost to Secret. And so for him, I think his eyes right now, this is the revenge tour. At the after party of Starladder, he went to KP and he said, like, I needed you to hit the final so we could have we could run it back again. Yeah. And he was like, this next time, show up. That was all he had to say. He was not really happy about the win. He was like, I wanted my revenge. Show up next time. Let's meet in the finals so that we can run this back. And I think he has similar aspirations. I'm not saying he's looking past Vici, but at the same time, like, their goal is to win this.
Absolutely. What is Vici's goal? What is their goal right now? Bearing in mind they've made the final 3 times in this season already and slipped up each time. We keep saying they've got this great powerhouse lineup, but they're not quite there yet. It's time, isn't it, for them?
Well, interestingly enough, I think you've got 2 goals. I mean, one is obviously to win the event because they're a team that has been to that level and has had a chance in the finals. But 2 is this series. They need to show that they can. You are not, even if you win an event right now, you're not going to be considered the top of the top unless you beat the Liquids, the Secrets, the VPs, the newbies on land. This is Vici's chance to do that. They've got the talent to do it.
Yeah. Purge, are these one of the teams in that middle order that could become the top 5? If we consider we've got a top 4 right now, ignore Will for a moment. We've got the top 4. Is this one of those teams that can join the top 5?
Yeah, I definitely think so. And I definitely got more impressed watching them play against OG. Obviously, OG dropped the ball in a lot of ways, but Vici was right there to grab it.
It's a great comeback, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like, I don't know if I'd say great, but it was like a confident comeback, not one that showed faltering. They knew what they were doing. They reacted well. They reacted timely. They made great item decisions. They made good hero plays. And that's the kind of thing that gives me confidence that they're not going to repeat what they did in the past, which is losing.
Yeah, I mean, Will, you made a great point during that match that not every team would have carried on at 20 minutes.
Yes.
A lot of teams would have just sat there and talked about what they could do better and what they could have done, and then moved on to the next game and GG'd out.
Yeah,
and they didn't do that.
Super resilient in that game. Felt like there was a lot of composure there. The downside, though, for me, when I look at this matchup, for Vici especially, is that across the board, like consistently, they are losing way too many early games. Yeah. And Liquid is a team, especially that a certain panel member here has said that they were the best early game team in Dota.
Who could possibly have said that on this panel, Nahaz?
I have no
controversial thing to say, Purge.
It was at the time, and then he was right. But
I think that's when you have this kind of matchup, they have to shore up the mistakes.
Yeah.
Because Liquid is a team that they have this aura around them where it never feels as though you're ahead enough. I was talking to who is it on Ninja Boogie. I was talking to Ninja Boogie after their series when they were up like crazy against Liquid at Starlight Ladder. I was like, "What did you feel?" And he's like, "We felt like the game was over, but playing against Liquid is so annoying." That's what he said. It's so annoying because it feels as though you're never really ahead because it only takes one fight for them and then you collapse. And so I think in that regard, you can't allow Liquid to take this early game lead because it's so difficult to come back against them in the first place. And when they're behind, you don't ever feel comfortable either.
Yeah, difficult team to play against. What are the strengths in this team, Alan?
Which one, Liquid or
Vici?
Vici, I think that when they get their draft and they get their game plan, they execute at a very high level. That was, though, what Will was just talking about is exactly why I was so encouraged after that first game against OG. Vici is a team that doesn't always have that plan B. If they get their heroes taken away from them, if they get down in a game, they don't always give themselves a way to come back. And that's why I thought that game where they kind of came back from the brink of elimination against, or the brink of a loss anyway, against OG was so encouraging.
I spoke to Mad downstairs about it, and he said that he agreed that the frustrating part about playing a team like that is you know how they're going to play, you know how they're going to draft. They're just bloody good at it. It's hard to beat them at that kind of game, so you have to do something different. And OG did that, so presumably Liquid will be looking at doing something different as well.
I think Liquid could also just do whatever strategy they want to and win because they're that good. Like their skill level is so high. I think they don't have to be put in a weird comfort zone. It's probably safer to avoid that, but they are so good that I think they could also do something weird and make it work.
No. So are you expecting them to do something slightly strange?
They're going to do whatever they want to do. That's kind of my opinion. And I think they're
kind of owning the Matrix at the moment, aren't they?
And it's still best of threes, right? Like at this point, now it's comfort zone. Best of ones into elimination matches, that's really scary. But now they made it through the really dangerous part, and now it's just play regular Dota. Yeah,
I was going to ask Will actually about that best of 3 change, because it is a bit of a mindset change, isn't it? We played best of 1, you've got to have a kind of mindset for that. Now it's a best of 3 mindset, and it's very quick in between. Not much prep time. Does that suit Liquid better? Does it suit VG better? Does it suit them both better?
I think it suits them both better. Like, no team really likes playing the best of 1 format, unfortunately. It's just like one of those things where, especially teams like OG, they would love to run it back another 2 games to try to find out what happens. But I think that Vici, something I want to know, by the way, is when it comes to individual skill, I think their cores match up pretty decently. Like, not a lot of teams do, but Ori, Young 11, Old 11, whatever.
I think he's back to normal 11 now.
Just 11.
He's normal 11
and
now,
Paparazzi. Like, those are 3 very individually skilled cores.
Yeah. Right.
Very individually skilled. Especially, like, I think 11 is my favorite offlaner right now, by the way. Yeah. The way that he plays is hilarious.
He is.
I am thoroughly entertained by how he plays.
I'm glad you said that, because I caught a lot of flack from Cap and Genting by saying 11. I thought 11 he could be a top 5 offlaner, depending on, I mean, not necessarily every day, but his ceiling is up there with anybody, I think.
The problem is that that was
No,
they're getting pumped down there.
They are.
You might be able to hear that coming from the mic. Yes,
No,
they're scared. Will literally shook next to me. He's like, what was that?
Somebody just screamed.
It's okay. Will, you can...
Dude, they're getting pumped to beat Liquid.
Yeah.
Young 11, he's feeling it. He's back to being young.
He's definitely feeling it. In terms of the M combo on the Liquid side, how do they match up? Like for like, core for core?
Well, I think that Matama Man, that's the hard part is because core-wise, I think the only team that matches up like perfectly well against them is a team like Secret, which is why I think that Secret right now is thriving. But I think Matama Man is kind of set the tone again of being like this versatile core that can pretty much move around anywhere. Miracle is probably the best spellcaster that we have in Dota. Like laning-wise, there are players that I would say match him. For example, no one, I think, has matched him pretty much every step of the way, but I think when it comes to pure spellcasting, there's almost nobody better. And Mind Control, what is there to talk about? When you ask Liquid, who's the best player on your team, he's almost the unanimous answer across the board.
All right, we're going to get into draft number 1 of this best of 3. Winner of this is guaranteed a spot in the top 6. Whether they're in the quarterfinals or the semifinals, we won't know until they play the upper bracket final in this particular group. But a 2-0 here or a 2-1 will guarantee them a top 6 spot. Very important matchup between these two teams.
So a lot of tempo bans from Liquid, Tide, DP, heroes that accomplish things that lead to something else.
Yep.
Nyx maybe just standard support-ish stuff. On Vici's side, the IO ban makes me feel like it's just a respect ban because Liquid is so good at the hero that it's just not worth playing against. And I feel like we don't see too many of those so far this tournament. It's a lot of like meta-based things.
I think it's always, as the tournaments go on, you start to see a few more respect bans as the team, because again, it's just so hard to evaluate based on watching some of these regional games. Like, is X player's Y hero really that good that it's worth a respect ban? And after the first couple days of a tournament, you get a much better idea.
But I think part of the problem, though, Alan, with Liquid is that you've got so many things that you could ban. Like Matama Man's got just so many things you should ban. Miracle's got so many things you could ban. GH has got so many things. There's too many, isn't there?
Yeah, what are you going to do? That's the thing. I like this approach by Vici, not necessarily concentrating on any one particular player. The problem is all 6 of these bans from both teams could be interpreted as a little bit of a tempo ban, and Liquid then snap picks Razor, which is one of the big tempo controlling heroes. Vici now really has to, the pool of tempo controlling heroes is a little bit smaller than we're used to seeing already the first phase of a draft. Vici has to react to this, and Naga, I think, is one of the best heroes, just giving yourself that reset button. Same opening, I believe, from earlier.
It is. Naga Gyro.
Nothing unexpected for either team.
Yep.
One thing I'd say about Vici's bans against Liquid is it's at least 2 out of 3 really good dive heroes, basically. Definitely a strength of them, of Liquid.
I think the Razor first pick is like really interesting to me because sometimes it feels so mediocre. Like I can't tell where this hero kind of lies, because when Vici first picked it, I was very ambivalent. I was like, and it worked out in the end, but it took getting to that point in the first place. And when EG does it as well, it just feels very, I don't know. They did it against Cole too. They did like Omni Razor or something like that, and I wasn't a big fan of that. But that's the weird part, is like when you're a team like Liquid, everything you do looks genius.
I think what's really nice about it is that laning-wise, it does pretty well, but even if it gets beat, in those couple early mid rotations, all you need is like a Drum of Endurance, and your hero's really fast, you have a good amount of burst, and you have really good teamfight longevity that can eventually work people down. It's kind of the same for Gyro. They're kind of similar in that way. I feel like strong laners, good mid game, decent late game, like you said earlier, kind of good at all stages. So I guess it's just the 2 flavors basically. But Razor just can also abuse matchups 1v1, so it's easier to open with it than a Gyro. And
it bears mentioning for Liquid, all 3 of their cores play Razor. All 3 of their cores has at least 1 Razor game since January 1st. And that's an added flexibility. So not only do you not know what lane that hero is going to be in, you don't know what player is going to be on the hero.
How many times has Miracle played it?
Just once. Just once.
So I think that the reason why I'm sort of okay with this, and I'm trying to like formulate this theory on the fly, is that when, for example, EG picks it, they're going to run it with Arteezy.
Yes.
But I think for the most part, when Liquid runs it, they're going to run it with Matama Man.
Yes.
And so it's kind of like the off core, because I feel like this hero is really awkward when he's your main 1 position, or he has to play that role where, especially for teams like EG, they like to use Arteezy as like the wave shove. Right. And for Liquid, it's almost always going to be Miracle that plays that type of hero. And so the Razor will then go into Matama Man's hands, and then it's not as important for your first pick to have such an impact.
So we got Night Stalker ban, Sand King ban, Bat Rider ban, and Beast
The
Master.
old Naga Disruptor combo. Now we're seeing Vici channeling newbie from Genting.
Yeah, this was the Liquid Slayer.
Yes, it was.
So what's the solution then? I guess Vision would be good. see them coming so that you don't get bad positioning.
You play really aggressive lanes. You take something like, I'm trying to see what's banned right now. You take SK? Is SK banned?
Yeah.
Okay,
Still think you could just, I mean, Rubik and Coddle are not the best support duo, but it's still a pretty good Rubik game. There you go.
yeah. I think you take some sort of aggressive duel and just go, because when you have a Razor, you don't really need to support this hero. Like, conceptually, he's a dead lane hero, and that you don't have to do too much to enable him. So you do something like duel off lane, which is funny enough what Vici did. They ran, what was it, Sand King Coddle themselves, which is why I thought that would work out in their favor. But you want to essentially just run it, the 3 heroes at bottom, because that's always been Disruptor's downside, is that this hero can't tri-lane very well. Thunderstrike is...
That's a good nuke, but yeah, that's all you've got.
It's very good against 1 hero, but when you're playing against 2, you just get jumped on and you die. And Glimpse and your kinetic field for the most part are useless in tri-lane on tri-lane situations.
So they basically need another core to pair, unless it's going to be Razor. Somebody that can actually contest.
I think when you look at the 2-3 hero opens, right? The Liquid open is so much more flexible because the Razor has so many more places that he can go.
Yeah.
Right? As Vici, you don't think that this is probably not going to be an Ori Gyro.
Yeah.
Right?
I like this NP pick a lot, by the way, because I think they have the same idea of what Liquid's trying to do. If Liquid go for the dual aggro, then you're putting Razor plus Rubik or something in the safe lane, and NP is one of the best heroes at dealing with the single weak safe lane support, yeah. And he's one of the better ways because you can also just send the Treants onto the Razor, and Razor can't clear them.
Yeah, I like that point.
Yeah, I think this is going to be 11's first Nature's Prophet appearance this year.
Another point too,
Wow.
sorry to just keep bringing this up, but when you
wow.
have Gyro on your team, you can't Roshan. He's like one of the worst position ones at Roshing, and so Nature's Prophet gives you that ability as well. And it would be, you'd be taking your Naga for granted if you don't have the ability to Rosh, because that's one of the best things that she does at securing for you.
So we still don't know the lanes because they've also played Tiny in 2 different lanes. They played it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's
Matuma Man and my controller.
there are just so many drafts that Liquid can do this in now because they have more dedicated. Usually when we talk about a flex pick, it's a hero that can be either like a 3 or a 4, right? Liquid, their core, they have so many core flex picks where they can run it on all 3 of their core players and even in all 3 lanes as well.
Very curious where the Tiny's going to go. I feel like you
so
try
traditionally it's gone in the off lane.
Yeah.
For Liquid.
Yeah, I think that would work best. Try to lane him against like Gyrocopter, because I don't think he'd work great against Prophet. At
Did
least
you just
until he
cleave
gets
with
some lane.
trees?
Yeah, but like you have 0 armor, so when the trees hit you, you still take a lot of damage. And you'd only have, if you're using your tree hits to hit the trees, then that's a super easy trade for Prophet. He's really happy about that, because normally using it to get every last hit, every deny, harass your opponent. Like I feel like I feel like that would be a bad matchup, because I think the tree cooldown's like about the same as spawning treants, about 30 seconds, isn't it? At level 1, it's like 25, 20, something like that. It's really long. So I feel like putting Tiny against Gyro would be the ideal, and then they still need a core maybe that can match up against Prophet. I might be wrong. Maybe they'll put him against the against Prophet, but I guess with Rubik it could be really good. If it's like Rubik plus Tiny, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Because then Tiny could use all of his tree hits to just slowly kill Prophet, and they could abuse Lift to get at more of those. I think that would work. So they're still going to need a mid hero basically.
Yeah, very, very nice for Vici having the last overall pick here. Because I think Liquid's draft is the more open in terms of what you could pick 5th, but that's offset by the fact that they have to show their pick first.
And Vici suspects that the Razor or the Tiny, I suppose, would go mids because they ban the PL. So they don't have the best AoE outside of Flak Cannon. It's actually pretty bad outside of Flak. Maybe that could. Is this the brood time?
Liquid will run Miracle PL mid.
Gyro's not even... It's a weird matchup against like heroes like PL, because you would think that because he has Flak Cannon, he counters in that regard, but once PL gets hard, he doesn't really care.
That's what I was worried about. This is Miracle TB mid,
Yeah.
but it's probably Matuma mid, Tiny, and then Mind Control Razor, or do you think flip?
I think
flip
the other
that?
way around. I think Matuma Man will take that Razor.
Yeah, and that's what
It's
I
his
mean.
second most played right now.
When Liquid first picks this hero, it's a bit different than a lot of other teams because it's not
Yes.
necessarily the important hero that you really care about.
Yeah.
It's just an opening pick that it's almost a throwaway. You don't care
Exactly.
that you take it. If it gets countered, sure. It's Matuma Man you're countering.
Ooh, Storm Spirit. So that's kind of scary for Liquid. They don't have very good disable. Only core that really does is Tiny, so it's up to the supports and Tiny to lock
We've
down
seen a
Storm.
lot of those 10th pick Storms, haven't we?
Yeah.
When they've become like one of those games where you go, yeah, this is a good Storm
It's
game. Let's
it's
play.
fairly free for the hero, but I mean, he's got to do a lot of work. It's exactly. I mean, it's kind of a lesser version of what we said about Timbersaw earlier. That
Nice.
they have so much invested in this Storm going off on this game.
Okay.
I don't know, Will.
I don't know. I'm starting to think that Storm just sucks because he feels
Please
so
buff
mediocre.
Ice
Like
Rock.
when it comes to damage, like you go in and you can't kill anybody. It feels like you really can't kill anybody.
Yeah, that's what I worry. It's exactly the same
You-
situation earlier.
I know how good a Storm
Who's he
player
gonna
you
kill?
are,
The Coddle?
but is that just your Storm? Or?
No, I think across the board,
I'm joking, Will.
I'm
First, you
I'm dead
gotta
inside
bully
right now.
I know.
somebody, don't you?
I'm just going to beat up on Will. Gents, let's get some predictions very quickly. Alan.
I gotta go with Liquid here.
Okay.
I just think they have the better core matchups.
All right, Kevin.
I'll go with Liquid as well. I've lost faith in Storm based on things that Will recently said
Yep.
8 seconds ago.
Okay,
So I'm
Will?
going to stick with Liquid.
Yeah, I think Liquid is very comfortable against Storm. I don't think I've seen them. It's like to my recollection, the last like 6 times they played against Storm, they've won. Feels
Okay.
like a hero.
All right. Liquid for you as well. A Liquid clean sweep as far as the panel is concerned, but don't take their word for it. Let's check out how they get on in the first game of our semi-final of the upper bracket. Remember, these two teams just one series win away from guaranteeing advancement into the top 6. Let's join the commentary team for this first game in the semi-final.
Thank you very much, Paul, and indeed, I'm Odie Pixel, I'm here with Fogged, and we're getting ready for this very exciting matchup. OG, of course, sorry, not OG, Liquid, just testing you guys at home. Liquid versus Vici Gaming here in this matchup. We've just had the 2 drafts. A lot of hate for the Storm Spirit, it seems, on the sort of the draft panel. Do you sort of agree? Are you not a big fan of the hero at the moment, Fogged?
It does seem like he's struggling a lot. It just seems like he tries to focus down a target, and we see these like defensive force staves, like Ghost Raptors, anything just to stall it, and then the Storm Spirit runs out of mana, and the juice is gone. Right?
Sure.
But this time they've got heavy team fights, so it just looks like they're trying to take fights constantly, have the Storm as their backup carry, so they have like this kind of tricore to deal with this Liquid draft that's looking to be more of like this split push oriented until they get that Aghanims on the Coddle, as we see so often. You know that I want to say like between 22 and 24 minutes, the 4-staff Aghanims, and then they're gonna join up with the Terrorblade and look for the push. And Vici, they're trying to take advantage of that, just taking fights earlier on.
And what do you think, sort of, overall about the sort of the decision from Vici Gaming to, sort of more Liquid rather, to let Vici Gaming get this Naga Disruptor combo? Like, does that sort of worry you? Because we've seen what this combo can do. This combo can single-handedly just make it impossible to play the game for the opponent.
This did seem like a little bit of a mind game draft to me, right? We saw Tiny was 4th picked, and he's been banned or picked every single game.
Omni Knight was ignored.
Omni was ignored again. I think this is like the 3rd series. I think I've seen that Omni's been untouched. So it did seem like it was a bit of a mind game playing back and forth with each other, and it's pretty intriguing. This last pick, Terrorblade, is I think the big concern, and that's why they grabbed the Storm, so they can try to match him when he's going for the split push, etc. Because Miracle, he's going to probably just be farming on his own for the most part in this game, and the other 4 on Liquid, they're going to be looking to just make plays non-stop and making space for him. And we do have a pause, by the way.
We do. Yeah, so apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Should be able to get the game started as soon as possible. But I think surely on the other hand, though, as you say, Storm maybe is a hero, seemingly underwhelming in some of the more recent games that we've seen him performed in. But on paper, this should be a good game.
It should be a good
because, as you say, you can punish the Terrorblade and disable. It isn't great.
But just like the panel was also saying, is the Storm, he does feel like he lacks damage when you're playing this hero. He has to kind of be pretty far ahead, and I mean, Terrorblade is sitting at like 11 armor at level 1. So that physical damage, sure, Storm is mixed, but that Terrorblade is able to tank through a lot of it and survive versus that Storm. And we had it unpaused, but a quick repause.
Yeah, it was a bit of,
A little bit of issues.
Hopefully we should be able to get things on, but just sorting everything out to make sure everything is all nice and ready for the players to go.
Lanem's got a new item build. by the way, that he's been doing in both series that I saw him play. He went for the Magic Wand at level 1, and he goes double Mango. So he's all about that HP regen. Sitting at 7.6 on Naga.
That's not bad.
And he's got, I mean, technically he's got the regen already, and he's got mana for days. I mean, it's an interesting build. I was wondering what kind of differences we'd be seeing with the gold change on supports, and I've been seeing a lot more multi-mango purchases on supports, on cores, all across the board, because they're super value now. 175 mana for 100 gold. Also gives you that HP regen. Of course, builds into wand too. It is very nice, and we'll see what matchups they actually get. If it is going to be that Terrorblade getting pressured a lot, and what they're going to do with mind control and with GH. I think that they're just going to put a lot of pressure. That's what I'd imagine. I've actually been also looking forward to seeing GH's coddle, because I've seen a lot of coddles actually in the last couple of days, because we covered a billion qualifier games.
We have. We've seen a few that sort of sit back, farm,
Yeah.
and then the lanes suffer because of it, because you haven't got this sort of presence early on, this sort of support that's able to match, sort of the support rotations that the majority of a sort of a meta relevant supports can do.
Yeah, I want to see how he like makes the maneuvers around the map. If he's just going to be stacking for the most part, or if he's going to be playing the lane presence. He's more of a lane presence guy. Even if he goes top or something and dies right away, he's going to go right back. He's not going to go try to stack in jungle or anything like that. He's more of a pressure that plays the coddle.
And we've seen a few coddles recently, and here as well as previous lands that are sort of opting to go back for sort of the 4-star rush. Do you think GH is that kind of man? Or
He's
we will
always...
see? Oh, sorry, the Aghanims rush.
Yeah.
You think he will get the 4-star first?
I don't think I've ever actually seen him get a Aghanims first item. He always gets the 4-star first. So he can actually be a presence inside the fights before he gets that Aghanims. Because it does take the time, like we said, it's that 22 to 24 minute, and then it hits daytime, and they look to push from 24 to 28. Happened time and time again, especially for the Liquid guys. I've seen other teams recreate it, but they're the big creators of that 4-staff Aghanims that I've seen so often.
Well, looks like we are still just getting things sorted as we look to get involved into our first game of this best of 3. This is all very exciting. Liquid versus Vici. If you didn't see the performances earlier, obviously Vici Gaming earlier today played up against OG in the best of 1, and it was a bit of a weird game. OG had a significant lead on Vici Gaming in the lanes, and then a few sort of blunders from OG were very nicely punished by Vici Gaming to allow Vici Gaming to come back into it. So it sort of makes me wonder how Vici Gaming are going to be able to do in the lanes against Liquid, because Liquid, they are incredibly strong in the sort of the opening 10 minutes, and it depends, can Vici Gaming, can they recover against a sort of a large loss in the laning stage if it's sort of worse than what they had against OG this morning?
They did. I thought throughout that game, though, they started playing better and better. It was like the early game was looking a little wishy-washy, and then they just found their place, and they just were cruising along, finding all the plays around the map. But yeah, we'll see how they can make it work with the big combo, of course, that we were saying. Naga Disruptor and the Gyro even thrown in on top can be very aggressive early on, and maybe can take advantage of Liquid's slightly slower paced draft. But the thing is that they have Tiny and Razor to play fast pace. It's just this Terrorblade who takes some time.
Yeah, I mean, the item build as well for Miracle, I feel, is going to be very important, because, in terms of when does he get the BKB and such, because there's definitely going to be situations where in these team fights, Vici Gaming with a quick sleep, then allowed to reposition themselves on top of Miracle with the Static Storm and the Gyrocopter combo. There'll be a large portion of the game where this Terrorblade just cannot sustain that. Like, that will kill Miracle at the start of each and every fight.
I think that's where they're just not going to have him show up, because as far as I've seen Miracle play, he's greedy with his item build. He's gonna go the treads. He's gonna go either like Dragon Lance or Yasha. He's gonna farm jungle until he gets that like Manta Scotty Blink Dagger. He's a huge fan of that Blink Dagger rush to just get into the middle of the fights once he gets online.
Absolutely has to play very safe. As we're saying, the draft from Vici Gaming very much kitted out to hunt down that Terrorblade and catch him during the laning stage.
And they have the items to go aggro as well, so they're looking to pressure this Terrorblade.
Yeah.
This Gyrocopter has the Wand Rush, extra tangos. Fenrir as well has bought extra tangos, and like we said, the Naga, sure, he doesn't have tangos, but he's got lots of mangoes, and he's got extra that can be given. And we see the Nature's Prophet already running toward that top lane. So I think they're predicting the lanes that Liquid's going to do. It's just depending on where KuroKy's going to go on this Rubik. What lane is he going to look to help?
Yeah, Kuro. I mean, as you say, would they not need to have sort of someone sitting around the mid in terms of support for Liquid, or can you sort of leave that to be a lane for them to stand on their own?
I think he's just going to match the support movements. If he wants to just sit mid and force them to move from bottom to stop to like relieve some of the pressure off Miracle, that can be an option. There's two kind of things he can do. He either goes bottom and meets the tri-lane, which I don't really like so much, or he can stay mid and force one of those supports to go there. Because like Razor plus Rubik, how is Storm really going to stand his ground? He's just going to get lifted into a link, and then he's susceptible to dying at level 2 even.
Well, looks like we do just have an issue with GH's computer at the moment. They are fixing it right now. So should shortly be able to start the action, and we've got the G being called now. So it looks like both teams are ready to get underway with this game 1 of this best of 3 between Team Liquid and Vici Gaming. As it is now, we're back on. We've resumed. We're back in the action.
Let's see what we get.
So as you say,
Early wards.
Unlikely that Vici Gaming's landing decision will set the tone for how Liquid want to run this early stage.
Look at that. It's only a 51.9% win rate with the Nog Disruptor pairing since 7.07. Sure, for newbie, 6-1, but they have proven that they're absolutely the masters of this strategy.
I think that's what it is, isn't it? It was so good. Other teams are going to emulate it, and to sort of mix success, as you say.
So other things that Liquid's draft can do is, I think that they're also trying to avoid a lot of these fights. That's why they've picked like Terrorblade, Coddle, Razor, Tiny Rubik, all these heroes. They can push lanes out, and that's what I think they're going to be looking to do. Shove lanes in, try to take fights at a number disadvantage. Don't let Vici really set up for that Naga sleep combo that we know and love so much. And here we go. 2 for 2 runes, and that pressure lane as we were predicting from Vici. Where is GH and where is Kuroki gonna go? Kuro does have his pull open bottom when he gets down there, so that looks like it's gonna be the option for him.
Yeah, so we'll see the two of them head towards top. And down bottom here, this tri-lane. See how much pressure they can apply onto the Terrorblade at these early levels of the TB.
Yeah, Lanim wants to block one of the camps here, or get vision on the side to at least see where the Rubik is coming from so they can keep that pressure and not get outnumbered. And it will be a pull block. So pressure lane on one side, pressure lane on the other side. They can also go for like deep dives early on bottom with the Nature's Prophet TPs. And the match. So they do want to help Miracle a bit.
They certainly need to. I mean, as you can see with the Thunder Strike and the Missile, each and every time it's going to keep Miracle under half health on this very low HP Terrorblade.
Missile's such a good spell now.
Oh, that will actually go here. Fenrir steps a little too far forward.
He's dead.
That's your first blood there. You've got to be careful on Vici Gaming.
So much damage coming between
Absolutely.
Coddle and Meta. Already level 2 now in GH.
And suddenly that sort of tri-lane, it's broken up a little bit. They can't afford to give away kills here. Homing Missile, easy goal for Kuro.
Aggroing into Coddle also is a nightmare. You just get hit by a couple Coddle blasts and you can get turned on in the majority of the situations. They don't have their pull available though, so they're going to have to utilize the hard camp to reset the lane a bit on Liquid. So you're going to see them perched over here, trying to pull the side. Mid, pretty even. 7-1, 8-1. Top as well. They got the Tiny versus the Nature's Prophet matchup, which they want to have so they can constantly use Tree Grab to clear those treants. There's 18-second cooldown on Tree Grab, 37 seconds on Nature's Call.
Matu in that mid lane at the moment, 8 for 4. 9 for 4, 9 for, it's very even between the two mid laners.
Lanim's already kind of left the bottom lane. He's looking to try to pressure Razor. I think they're accepting that. Trying to shut down this Terrorblade is going to be way too difficult versus Coddle.
It's a pretty hard kill to get mid. I mean, Ori's sort of hanging around with the Invis rune that he found, but
yeah,
between the two of them, getting Razor is very hard.
They see him too, because they have that lane ward.
So mid lane, not really the place for Vici Gaming to gank at the moment. It's just a little too hard to find that surprise and angle.
They're hoping to find the supports on the sidelines on the side of Liquid, because killing Miracle is a bit hard unless they isolate him with all that magic damage.
Correct. Sort of looking for an opening here. Again, the missile being farmed up. 2 missiles so far. All adds up.
There's more missiles killed than last game.
It is. It's heating up on this bottom lane as Paparazzi is unable to find the connection. Each time he fires it off. And CS-wise, it's keeping even at the moment between Paparazzi and Miracle.
11's doing excellent up top. Of course, the denies are a little bit boosted because he's denied a couple of his treants, but he's still having a great time versus Mind Control. He's got the phase boots already. So he can definitely look to go for those dive plays. That's when they can also try to pressure that Liquid triangle like we were mentioning. If they're too far stepped up, a TP in from Nature's Prophet, 4v3. They need the levels though. Naga's still level 2. Or Naga's still level 1, not quite that level 2 just yet.
I guess one of the other
top. Mind Control actually had to use his Mango to TP out there.
One of the other things as well about running this aggressive trial lane from Vici Gaming is that it does keep the supports of Liquid pressured to be down here, so it's much less likely that their Storm's going to be in trouble on the early levels. It's
You say that, but
I mean,
Storm versus Razor can be.
Oh, sure, in the
it gets to be
1v1.
hard, yeah.
Sure, in the 1v1 in a sense, it's not an easy lane for Ori, but he's unlikely to be ganked. And in fact, Ori, he's moving around the map himself with 11. They'll go on with the Sprout onto GH, but they won't quite have the catch to do so. So
He wanted to pick up his bottle from the secret shop on the Storm Spirit. Didn't want to have to wait for the courier. Bottom, Kuro. Should get brought down here.
they got him. All right, so Vici Gaming get themselves a kill on the map. Some support versus support action down there.
If they can, on the sidelines, it's like isolating those heroes is the most important for them to actually get the kills. It does look like they've swapped lanes now. The phase boots already finished on Nature's Prophet, and Paparazzi's probably like, I'm splitting tri-lane experience as a gyrocopter. Liquid's going to start pulling the lane back a bunch as well, so he wants to make sure that he can get level 6 nice and early so he can be that active presence.
And the mid lane, going as you expected, with Matsu now breaking ahead. Now he has the levels by quite a significant amount. 27 to 15 against the 16 for 2 on Ori.
That lane ward really helping the Razor constantly. Every time Ori steps up, he knows he can just get the link off, and Razor's just such a lane dominator. And here comes mid lane. Ori.
In a lot of trouble. Kuro setting up for Matsu to pick up the kill. They will TP in. They're looking for the turnaround. Matsu being brought very low, and they do find it. Kuro's actually going to go down as well, so Vici Gaming are able to avenge the Storm's death and get 2 kills out of it.
11 with the rotations. He's got level 6 now too, so that Nature's Call has, Wrath of Nature has to be something that Liquid has to be aware of.
Yeah, being very active on the map at the moment.
Now Miracle's been left alone though, which Terrorblade is still perfectly free farming even though they tried to pressure him with that aggro lane. Top of the net worth too.
Mind Control as well, of course, getting a decent farm out of this top lane.
The rotations from that Nature's Prophet giving him some space back up there.
Matsu just trying to make it as hard as possible for Ori to reach that level 6 in the mid lane. Bottom lane, Miracle. Popping the Metamorphosis to push back 11. He's on his own though in 11. Sort of toying around with going back, and he does have Lanham close by.
He's waiting to use his ult. He's trying to get a big burst off.
Here we go, Miracle. I think he's in a lot of trouble. He has got the right click of the Metamorphosis. 11 has to be careful as the Sprout is actually not going to save him. Is Miracle not going to die here? Oh, he's not going to die here. They turn around. Kuro's there to back him up.
The ulti didn't bounce. There was too many creeps showing on the map. It actually didn't bounce back to hit.
Oh, I mean,
the Terrorblade.
Lanham was lucky to get out of that one, but yeah, I guess as you say, just a bit of a miscalculation from the Prophet. He needed that burst, and he didn't get it.
I think it's because like Ori was jungling there, right? So I think the Wrath of Nature bounced to the Storm Spirit's jungle camps there and didn't actually have enough bounces to go to Miracle. Very unfortunate there for 11.
Will come back to this bottom lane and try and limit the farm of Miracle a little bit, but as we can see, Miracle top CS at the moment, 42 to 12. And to my man just behind him. It is 3 for 3, but there's that slight lead for Liquid at the moment. Top lane, they try and going on to Paparazzi, but won't quite be able to hold him underneath the blast from GH. Down bottom, they can't seem to shut down the Terrorblade as of yet, but to my man as well. No sort of pressure being applied onto the Razor. They have these 2 cores on Liquid that are farming just that little bit better than those on Vici Gaming.
Definitely a big concern when Ori's just sitting in the jungle. He can't go mid. He just gets linked up constantly. He might try to make a move on bottom, but Miracle, he is holding the skill point.
And as we said, there's not really the greatest of disable even on Vici Games, so there will be the chance for the Sunder, almost certainly. Well, Kuro
in a lot of trouble.
Does get found out here. 11 TPs in as well to join the fun. Vici Gaming get the kill. Top lane, Mind Control is being backed up by GH. The wraparounds there from Matuma Man, ready to chase down Paparazzi. They do manage to catch him with the blast. They find one, and GH hunting for Fenrir. He knows he's here. Fenrir will go for the TP out and will make it. Nothing to cancel it. Down bottom as well. Miracle playing rather cocky here, just farming. Not trying to get involved in that camp.
Just a casual 19 armor. He doesn't really care about these treants or Nature's Prophet hitting him so much. He only takes like 33 damage per right click from a phase boot Nature's Prophet.
And as you say, he's still got that emergency point available to spend in the Sunday if required.
Yep. Smoke's coming out. They've got Paparazzi 6. His cooldown's on cooldown for about 15 more seconds. But they want to try to punish this Razor rotation.
Let's see if they can do it. Look at the missile onto Mind Control.
5 more seconds for fall down.
Straight away with the toss back, but Mind Control, he's been glimpsed straight underneath the tower. Vici Gaming will at least get the Tiny, slowly but surely, as the rest of Liquid will have to back off. So they get themselves a core kill. Again, being very mobile across the map, Vici Gaming, especially with 11. And it is paying off for 11. He's top net worth at the moment, level with Miracle.
Yep. They're having to commit a lot of resources, though, because they're like, we need to make space for Ori. Ori's just still struggling very hard on that Storm Spirit. Kuroki's just been given the mid lane with those Matu rotations. They want to get that level 6 nice and early.
One goes to Miracle. Third highest on the top average GPM. HFN, and then the man, the myth, the legend, Chappie, #1.
740 GPM. That's really high up there.
I mean, wow. Didn't know Shadow Amulet could do that. Top lane. Toss comes in onto Paparazzi. GH is there as well. They're looking for the chase down. Quick glimpse back will pull the Razor away from the gyro. So Fenrir there with the save. Puts a bit of a stop there to Liquid's advances.
There's a enormous stack there that Liquid really wants to claim.
That's very juicy. I mean, they have to fight for this.
There's going to be some battling around this one for sure.
That is, what is it, a triple stack?
That's a quad.
That's a quad stack. That's a big stack there.
Yeah. They might even want to pull more heroes up there. They might just want to bring like 4 or 5 heroes on both sides. Like 4v4 at least. They could leave Miracle bottom on the side of Liquid, but I think maybe Ori can make the way up. Because he's got a regen rune, so he can look to fight on this Storm Spirit. And they're looking to stack it again.
Oh, they didn't quite get it there. That looked like it should. It was right on the edge, that one. But still, nonetheless, a massive stack for the taking on and whichever side manages to take control.
Trying to push Mind Control out. They've got the glimpse.
They have, straight into the combo. Cooldowns there as well. He'll go for the toss back, but Mind Control being surrounded. He's trying to fight back. Does bring some of Vici Gaming low, but he loses his life. Kuro as well in trouble as they'll zip forward, take down the Rubik, and now we're 2 down. I mean, can they clear this stack? Paparazzi is a little low.
It's going to take them quite a lot of remnants, but they should be able to.
And this is big. They had to make sure that Liquid did not steal this. And they'll
really
get away with securing it for themselves.
I really like Ori's rotation there.
Yeah.
Sure, he got his regen broken and all that, but it doesn't matter. I think he had to make the move up there.
It's a Miracle. We'll claim that bottom tier 1 tower. 7 for 4. Things looking all right for Vici Gaming here. They're maybe slightly behind on the net worth, but they're making good calls, good movements.
They've got good levels on their supports too. All supports are level 6 in the game. We've even got a level 7 Disruptor already. Level 7 Disruptor, level 7 Rubik. So Max Glimpse is online for Fenrir.
Miracle is getting away with pressuring the tier 2. Yeah, TP's now come in to stop him. Top lane, looking towards Mind Control. They've got the Static Storm, buying time for Ori to look to close the gap, but they can't quite finish the kill. Ori has to back up now as he takes a huge blast from GH. Again, GH, he's not, surely not going to get the Storm kill. Ori has to keep his distance, and Ori will just be enough out of the way from it. They're still trying to chase though. Stolen ball there from Kuro to close the gap, but Song comes out from Lanham.
Liquid this is all about the pressure. Put pressure on so Miracle just gets his game. Gets to just free farm bottom. And he's got the Yasha and he's queued up the Dragon Lance too. And you see Razor, Matu, he's just rushing a BKB because he knows he needs to be that frontline presence in the fights. He can't be susceptible to just getting Naga slept and Disruptor ulted and die. 11 though, Shadowblade still at a very early time. Looking to go for this mid though. Blast comes out, Kuro, he's thinking about it. really thinking about it.
That Shadow Blade at 11. He's going to get zipped on.
Auto blast.
Has the control. Kuroki styling on him there with the ball lining in top lane. Zimmerman and Mind Control, they've found Lanham, and of course Lanham does not have Song back online. Mind Control is out of mana though. He does still have the mangoes, but yeah, both spells are on cooldown. Talking about cooldowns, one will come out from Paparazzi.
Oh, that missile almost redirected and hit Matu. That could have been huge for Vici there. They could have gotten both those 4 kills. And it is going to be the Bloodstone rush actually on the Storm. We've been seeing a lot of just the Kaya into...
I've not seen Bloodstone rush in a long time. Absolutely not. That has certainly been the build that's sort of fallen out of favor. But Ori says, let's go for it. I mean, I guess he's got good battlers around him. He's likely to get the Bloodstone charges up if the pace continues as such.
I think he's trying to match the greed, right? I think if he goes like the Kaya Orchid, he doesn't want to have that thing where he just fall off. He wants to be able to deal with this Terror Blade throughout later stages. Almost Blink Dagger finished for Mind Control.
Let's see if he doesn't die here. And they're looking for him straight in with the Nature's Wrath. Ori zips forward, they surround the Tiny, and they'll take him down, knocking him back a couple of 100 gold from that build. Same time though, move is made mid, but Kuroki still with that Ball Lightning, closing the gap, chasing down Paparazzi. They'll get the kill on Jaro.
This Ball Lightning just getting them 2 core kills just now, and forcing that Naga sleep defensive top, so Kuroki with some huge plays coming in on the Rubik. Mind Control though, he's died 4 times, but this is kind of the way he plays, especially when he's playing with GH's Coddle. You see GH is kind of that silence presence. He's got 4 staff already, and he's got a component of that Aghanims now too. He's actually ahead of Mind Control and getting close to Matu as well.
He's trying to go back and join the team, but he actually walks into 11. GH, oh, bit of a blunder there. He just walks straight back into it. So he will lose his life towards the mid. They do put the Metamorphosis. They're able to get the Naga Siren. Fenrir with a glimpse back on Matumbaman will keep himself safe. 11 tries to come in, but the Sentry is down. Miracle quick with the Sunder. 11 still alive for now. They've got the cooldown. Miracle. He's actually going to get popped here by Paparazzi and Ori. This is a 2 for 2 at the moment. Paparazzi trying to chase down more. Matumbaman is there still with the Eye of the Storm. Ori running out of mana, so we'll have to back off.
They got the tier 2 very early on.
Yeah, we're getting a lot.
But they did lose
pressure.
GH in the back, and that's a big net worth kill.
That's crazy stat there as well. Kuroki, 218 games on Rubik.
Played it on so many teams. Look,
Yeah.
oh, look, he's flacking these Ancients as a Rubik.
Oh, look at that. I mean, it's
Theatrical.
not going to kill him.
Theatrical.
218 games.
Paparazzi going for a straight BKB rush on the Gyro. So much burst damage coming in. He knows that this Tiny's going to go for like Blink Dagger or something. He doesn't want to be susceptible to that burst.
Oh, mid. Does get glimpse. Quick telekinesis onto Ori, but Ori's fine. Lanham has found GH. GH finding one another. Blasts it back. Oh, nice. He bounces him back into the blast. Lanham has the mirror image out. Another blast with GH Connect, but a big Nature's Wrath bringing him down low. Vici Gaming will burst the Kotal.
They're keeping fast pace.
They are 12 to 8.
They're grouping a lot too because they know that Liquid wants to fight mostly 4v5, except for when the meta is up. Then Miracle can start to get involved to push some towers, but they are definitely pressuring this Coddle.
Yeah, we've got fortification coming out on the mid. Liquid, can they do anything about this? It doesn't look like they can. They'll have to let this one go. They do have the ball lining if Kuro wants to try and make a play.
Always carrying sentries on the Rubik too, to be able to set up for that Shadow Blade from the Nature's Prophet. So that come into play with the Sunder in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's a big kill if they can get it with 11. Still leading the charge of net worth on Vici Gaming's side.
Yeah.
Closing in on the Maelstrom.
Close to Bloodstone on Ori too. So the 3 cores are farming very well on the side of Vici.
So far, I mean, it's a close game between these two sides.
Yep.
Which is what we'd like to see. Liquid are heading over, but it is underneath all of these wards.
Yeah, they've got the BKB on the Razor coming out right now in the Courier, so they're like looking to just put the pressure on, keep making the space for that Terror Blade to farm up. They're looking for a Courier snipe. 11 really wants it.
Has got the Manta recipe on, so it would be quite a crucial pickoff, and he's got it. That is going to be the Manta put aside for a few minutes.
He didn't buy the ulti orb. It was just the recipe. Oh,
Sure.
Kuro with the zip across.
He's trying to make 11 pay for this. They have the dust. They blast 11 back. Wraparound's there for Miracle. He's got the slow from the reflection, so 11 may have put that Manta recipe on the sidelines for a few minutes, but he pays with his life. The Kuro continuing to make plays with the ball lightning. It's and now, oh, he's got the global teleport. That's also a very nice one to sort of set things up.
Even to put wards down, super useful ability.
Yeah. And Kuro's having a fun time this game.
Yeah, he is. They haven't gotten a chance to use that Static Storm Sleep combo. Liquid just constantly pushing sides in, running around his 4 heroes, while Miracle just farms up. They don't want to give him those chances. Ori, Bloodstone finish. He's got an Arcane Rune as well in his bottle, and it will be that Orchid.
Just going for trades now, Liquid. Pushing in onto the tier 2 top. Same to be said for Vici Gaming down bottom.
Paparazzi almost has BKB. And then they can look to actually take some fights on Vici. Be a lot more confident. Tier 2 for tier 2.
Both teams just contenting and ignoring one another at the moment.
1k gold lead, 1k experience lead.
Very, very close. GH is about halfway, just over halfway towards the Aghanim Scepter.
Should have it at his usual timing, is what it seems, as long as he doesn't get picked off a few more times. Vici trying to cut some waves here, since, as we see, mid lane's pushed in heavily, top lane's pushed in heavily. Just that Liquid having I guess, like I'll use the will word, the 5 shoving heroes. And it will be an early BKB on Miracle, so he is going to look to get involved after his Manta.
I think he certainly needs it. As we said,
versus
any
that
fight
static.
he turns up, they have absolutely got the way of just getting on top of them with the Static Storm and making it impossible for the TB to fight, especially once Storm has sort of his Orchid in, so he'll have the answer. Scan from Vici Gaming will reveal that someone is in the tree line.
They might actually be able to catch him up here. Here's the zip.
They're searching, and they've found it. The scan resulting in a successful pickoff.
And a successful Bloodstone charge.
The dream for Ori. Very nice read of the map there from Vici Gaming to check out for that.
Yeah.
Commonplace for Liquid. I mean, yeah, GHB found, trying to split push these lanes out.
They're just cutting those waves, just waiting till that BKB comes down on the Terror Blade so they can actually take head-on fights.
Lane Ori pushing in. There's a haste rune top. Miracle immediately backing off as soon as the Storm shows his face.
Lanham has Spirit Vessel, and he's queued up the Meteor Hammer. Will he be able to find GH? He's cutting behind. He's actually found GH here. Are they going to try to zip here?
He's a little deep. So that Nature's proper think about that.
Yeah.
Think about coming in, but they'll focus on the towers. Take a tier 1. Liquid have turned up. So it looks like Liquid are happy to try and take a 5v5 here if Vici Gaming give it to them. We'll see if Vici Gaming themselves want to fight. At the moment, looks like they're backing away. They want to regroup. Now, how are they going to go about this? Is it...
They want to try to catch the backlines. If they can find the tiny Rubik and Coddle and get them inside of a Sleep Storm, it's going to be troublesome. Even if they can find the Terror Blade, it'll still be a big problem for Liquid.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they'll find anything. It was just a smoke to move around the map. Maybe hoping to find Terror Blade or someone on their own in the jungle of Liquid, but as we can see, that's not the case.
Yeah, they're trying to catch this Coddle who just keeps pushing the waves in.
Here we go.
They could find it. Something may hear mid.
They are. He's right there, GH. How are they going to open in on this one? They've got their eyes onto the Keeper of the Light. Haste Rune on Ori. He's going to zip himself up, grab the Keeper of the Light, drag him down. Paparazzi pops the cooldown. They'll turn for the easy kill. There's the Keeper of the Light. Mind Control now found as well in the tree line, but Ori, he's up. With Old 11, wants to get these Bloodstone charges. He's picked up a second as 11 has the double kill. Lanham singing the song, trying to get them out of there. 11 goes for the Sprout, goes for the TP out. They don't have the vision. 11 will escape. They did lose Paparazzi, but a 2-for-1 overall. Ori going to be happy with the affair as he does pick up, of course, 2 more Bloodstone charges.
He actually gets denied to the neutrals on the gyro. He got full linked up by Razor, and
there we go.
Mind Control actually tossed him back in to keep the link on. Lived with 20 HP, and then the Ancients got aggroed and just smacked
the
him.
dream for Vici Gaming.
Yep.
Nothing of value was lost. Just the gyro off the map for a bit of time, but they'll absolutely take that.
They didn't get a big core though, and they expended sleep. Now top though, Matu, BKB's on cooldown. Ori's got a lot of mana.
He has. Has he got enough? Yeah, with a glimpse. Perfectly done from Fenrir. Straight back into the Static Storm. That's another Bloodstone charge. It is going the right way for Ori. And as we said, the Bloodstone first build, something that's fallen out of favor with a lot of pros, but Ori the perfect time pickup. He knew that his team could help him get these kills if he got it at a good time, and he is. Yeah, up to 18 Bloodstone charges, and 23 minutes on top of that. Only a few hundred gold away from having the Orchid, and he's just found Kuro straight in onto this Rubik. He's going to play around with him, try and get up to the high ground. Has 11 there as well for the kill. More Bloodstone charges. Honestly, this Storm,
Ori's having an excellent game.
It's setting up to be the dream game.
After he had to jungle for the first, like,
bullied out of the lane
minutes.
by this Razor, but
Incredible recovery.
it's just the ability to make plays between. I mean, for the most part, him and 11. It's just this the global potential. 11 had a great lane at the start, played it very well, and with his build, the Phase Drum Shadowblade, able to play aggressive as he has been. He's got money for the BKB as well if he wants to. You can see at the moment still sort of thinking about what item he would like. Do you think he does need to get the BKB, or could he be thinking of something else now?
BKB is the fighting item. Anything else would just be the splitting item. So they're going for the fighting.
BKB, and BKB as well, picked up in synchronization by Miracle on the Terrorblade. So this Terrorblade will be certainly more suited to the fights, and will be a little less worried about the Storm Spirit. So Vici Gaming too had to be careful of that. GH also now with the completed Aghanims on the
This is a big pickup for the Terrorblade. This is where he can actually just run rampant inside the fights, because all the damage is pretty much negated on the side of Vici. It's all about not letting him get kited around it. They just make their way directly into the Roche pit.
They've scanned outside of it, so we're going to pass in the region of it. They are. So they know that something's going on around the pit, and almost certainly in it in terms of what Vici Gaming can suspect.
Sleep is up in 5 seconds.
That could be perfect. If they head over there now.
It's daytime though, and there is the Ag's Coddle. That 24-minute
Let's see how they can do it. Mind control as well. It's coming out on the side, but they've got a sentry down. They know that they're in there. Can Lanham go for the play? He has to make the call and go in with the song soon. Roshan falling very low. They're going to go for the zip forward. Trying to go for the backline as Ori goes in immediately. There's the song. And there's... No, they got the kill, but Miracle still picks up the Aegis. BKB's popped by the Terrorblade as Miracle starts to force them back. Gets tossed forward by Mind Control. He's looking for Lanham. There'll be the Glimpse pack taking Miracle away. But he Manta dodges it. He's going to still try and continue to chase, but Vici Gaming a little too speedy. So, overall, cold down, Bloodstone charge for Ori.
There you go.
Do they have the damage to kill him? They do. Perfect control, perfect hold. So they do manage to knock some of the Bloodstone charges out of the Storm. So,
what got the last hit on the Roche there? I didn't get to see which exactly got the last hit, but they used the Sleep and Miracle with the quick BKB was able to grab it.
Because, yeah, it was...
I know that
Vici Gaming got
Vici got it. I don't know if it was like a Wrath, or if it was like just a Riptide or something hit clicked.
Was it maybe even a flat cannon hit?
Maybe it was a flat cannon. Either way, it doesn't matter. They got the last hit.
They got the last hit. They got the last hit.
So they get themselves a bit of gold surging their way.
But yeah, Miracle gets the Aegis, and he still got it. Wasn't burnt out in the fight, so he has got that ready for the next one. So
they were able to find the Coddle. That's the biggest thing. It's daytime.
That's what they go straight for, Ori.
Yeah.
Every time.
Mid again, jumping in, but everybody else is there.
Oh, stolen song.
Well, they found Fenrir.
Yeah, they managed to close the gap on one of them. He does have Glimpse, and he'll try for it, but there's 4 heroes around him. No chance here for Fenrir.
And he steals Glimpse. This is actually a really scary spell to have. Can catch people off guard, so they have to be very careful.
Especially during daytime, with that daytime vision of the Keeper of the Light. Glimpse is, I mean, it's always a great spell, but even more so with the fact they have the vision to play with it.
Yeah, this is the liquid timing that we tend to see so often. That comes out, Meteor Hammer as well. Doesn't get the Manta dodge.
He doesn't. Missile's there as well, but he has got the sustain. The blast comes through, Miracle. Still fine to stand toe-to-toe with the Terran, as we said. You know, he has got that Aegis still.
GH even smokes himself in the backlines, but the Spirit Vessel actually preventing a lot of that heal on Miracle.
He's getting pretty... You can see there, he was thinking about sundering GH.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I could do with that health, GH, you know. He's still thinking about it. Now he'll get healed up by that next blast. But yeah, the split push on.
They're going to try to itemize as best as possible on the side of Liquid to protect GH. So probably a Glimmer Cape on Rubik, and he has to get his own Ghost Scepter. They have to just get everything possible to make sure that this Coddle lives inside the fights.
Yeah.
The 4K advantage right now for Vici.
Yes, they're holding well.
Yeah.
Ori's got to work on building those Bloodstone charges back up, but with the good timing of the Orchestra, as we said, and rushing for the BKB next, he should be given sort of the chance to do so.
I'm glad he's not being greedy and going for anything else besides BKB.
Yeah.
I think he really needs it anyway this game. Paparazzi had that SNY finished after going the rush BKB, and it will be a Butterfly as the last item. And Liquid looking to get aggressive even during the nighttime. It's about to kick in.
Oh, Ori, zipping in, zipping out. That's all the mana to play with.
They've
we'll keep the
spotted
distance.
Lanham.
Lanham does have Song. Could go for the Song TP if he wishes to expend it, and he certainly will. There's the Song. There's the TP, but he's already been glimpsed. So the TP will not be successful, and now all he can do is run away, but without another, any other chance of TPing out with it on cooldown and gone, he will still fall. So that's him down.
And the glimpse, like we talked about.
The stolen glimpse.
Yeah, something you always have to remember about if those get taken.
That's pretty crazy.
Yep.
And max level glimpse there. I can't see Kuro getting any other spell anytime soon until he absolutely has to. He'll want to be holding on for that one. Lots of potential to make these sort of plays. Still though, as we said, 5k lead for Vici Gaming. A lot of it down to the fact that this Nature's Prophet, 11 is just keeping on par with Miracle.
Top
Yeah.
worth.
He has been splitting out the map perfectly, 250 CS?
He's got full AC. He's gone for the full battle build too, if you look. Even his talents. He's gone for the 8 armor, 30 damage, 40 attack speed. It's not about any of this split push this time around.
All about just punching people. Bottom lane, 11.
They see Fenrir.
They do. They're going to go straight for the Disruptor. They want to get rid of Fenrir to make sure there's no Static Storm or anything to worry about, and they'll do so. Fenrir's gone. This will give the time and the chance and the information for 11 to play a little more careful. He knows that they're sort of on the hunt for him on this bottom lane. Same time, up top, Paparazzi has been able to push the wave all the way back around to the tier 3s with that movement that Liquid have been able to, have been trying to make down bottom as a group. There's the opportunity for Vici Gaming to continue to split up the map like this.
Yeah, 11 starting to port out. Mind Control gets the first stop. Bye-bye. Too tanky. 33
AC.
armor.
Yeah, that AC is absolutely doing work.
The 8 armor talent and the AC, yeah, it's definitely adds up there. 2 more minutes until daytime. I think Vici has to try to make some type of aggressive move as soon as this Aegis ticks out, which is gone in 4 seconds.
You can see Paparazzi there. There's the Aegis gone. But they will indeed be able to cut down the homing missile, and now the backup from Liquid comes in.
Everyone TP's top.
They want to fight. They know that Vici Gaming would have been heading over there looking for an opportunity whilst that Aegis was going, and Ori has to be careful. Will Zip immediately senses that something's up, getting himself away from Mind Control. Mind Control won't be able to close the gap. And Paparazzi also able to TP back to the shrine, back to safety. So Vici Gaming avoiding Liquid's movement.
Lonim's going for Lotus Orb next, just to remove that mana leak. He can get the reflect on the link if it comes out at the right time, and also the most important one is blocking that Sunder. Reflect that Sunder could turn the fights.
That's a miracle. Skadi complete. Butterfly queued up next. Paparazzi still working his way towards his own Butterfly.
Dire are scanning.
Trying to shove it bottom. Still just a tier 2 standing in the middle lane for Liquid. Which I imagine we'll see a VG attempt for shoot soon, but now they are just focusing on shoving these side lanes, keeping the pressure on, so Liquid, it's very difficult for them to sort of make moves themselves.
Yep. 30 seconds till daytime, though. Most important timings in the game for Liquid. And have they picked up a gem just yet? No, they picked up the Ghost Scepter, though, on GH now, so a lot more survivable. And he's got that big castering bonus now, too. So he can stay all the way in the back lines for those Illuminates and Mana Leaks. Is that the BKB finished on the Storm? It is.
Should be, shouldn't it?
Yeah, he's got it done.
Okay, so this...
3 cores are farming very well. Can they handle the Terror Blade? Can they handle the daytime?
There's double damage ring down bottom. We'll see Liquid get eyes on that. They'll want to grab that for this next play.
Oh man, they're gonna have, it's daytime plus a DD on Terror Blade, the dream for them. 11's been doing just such an excellent job this game, though. Constantly pushing out the side lanes.
Yeah, this Nature's Prophet's been annoying for Liquid, that's for sure. Now
Keeping up
Vici
in all the
Gaming.
fights.
They're smoking up. They are smoking into a double damage Terror Blade. This could be a little risky. They'll go for the song.
They want to find the Coddle. GH is smoked in the sidelines to avoid this.
They are just going to drop the Static Storm here onto Ruby. This is a little bit awkward by Vici Gaming as they look to Kuroki. They do find him. Miracle pops the BKB before the homing missile redirects upon himself. Now, chasing down Lanham. Lanham will get knocked back. Nice play there for GH as he forces himself in to get the blast back. So a 1-for-1 try. I mean, that's not the play Vici Gaming were looking for there. That seemed a bit of a panic play, really, popping the Static Storm down onto the Rubik. I mean, they know they found him, and I guess they felt that they wanted to find something, but the chances of the fight as a whole going great after that, it wasn't great.
No, they disengaged instantly after that. They know that it could be an absolute disaster if they commit onto Miracle there with the DD. He did expend meta and his BKB though, so the push will be slowed down heavily. They're looking at Miracle.
They're trying at least. But still, maybe coming back to that point, the panel said the lack of damage from the Storm.
11 is split pushing though at the same time. He's gonna trade.
Oh shoot, he is. He's going for the rat and he's getting it, as it seems. Miracle will have Fenrir tossed back into his hands, or he comes back in with the silence. Miracle kind of low, but he mantles. Sunders says, GH, that's my life. Thank you very much. He's back up, and Matuma Man and Kuro were forced to come back and hold the defense. So 11 gets in, gets out, pressures them
Paparazzi's
back.
in deep. Looks like he got tossed. No, he just actually ran in with the BKB. Thought maybe he got tossed back.
Lanham, maybe seeing if he can find anything, and they'll go straight away on top of this Keep of the Light, or he's popped the BKB in order to help finish off the kill, and he will find it. 11's there as well, the wraparound Sprout onto Matuma Man. 11 just right-clicking them as these guys down. He turns towards Mind Control, gets the Tiny. Matuma Man, sure, he's managing to get a big static link, but he's dead. 11 there with the wraparound, coming in with the right clicks, cutting off the advance of Liquid. Vici Gaming fine free. Miracle and Kuroki will escape, but as we see, 11 is just doing so much lifting here that the split push pressure and as his participation in the fight. Paparazzi though, he just walked up blindly into the high ground and just gets absolutely destroyed.
Lanem walking in now too. Miracle still has BKB available for himself.
Honestly, I think 11's like, come on lads, just calm down, stop the feed, I'm gonna carry you. Like 11, he's got this game on his shoulders.
He's making all the right moves.
He is doing everything he can to get this win here for Vici Gaming.
He's looking for shrines now too. He's got Hex in queue. 1 minute until nighttime. Roche is back up.
Wow.
Radiant's bottom shrine has fallen.
It is, as we saw, the split push is definitely going to pull Liquid apart. They have to send people back to react, and as we saw last time, they have to sort of come back, pop BKBs on Matuma Man. This isn't any old Nature's Prophet. This is an incredibly stacked. Yeah, up there, it's still only less than 1k between him and Miracle Terrorblade. Like that's an incredible amount of farm for this Nature's Prophet to have, and he's got the money for the Hex.
Yeah, he's pretty much got the Hex.
All eyes on 11, really.
He's changed. He's changed his build. He wants to be more of that right clicker.
I like that.
I think he's recognizing that Paparazzi is still suffering a bit. Sure, Paparazzi has MKB done, but they need to have more damage.
And I think
Roche.
they might have got a taste for that as well. When 11 came in on that last engagement down bottom, they're like, hang on. When he's actually in the fights, they can actually just take the fights because of how farmed he is.
Sleep comes out. Catches Miracle.
It's a little
still
early.
Pretty high HP. They found GH though.
Pop the cooldown, Ori pops the BKB, looking to go straight in onto GH, but GH did get the Ghost Scepter off. He's keeping him alive for a bit, indeed the Stolen Sleep, holding back the rest of Vici Gaming. Ori desperately trying to find GH, can he get the kill he can? Will get the coddle, but now the turnaround comes in. BKB and Metamorphosis popped by Miracle. He'll find the Disruptor. So as it stands 1-for-1, but with the Metamorphosis, he goes back into the pit. Ori still playing around it. He's got a bit of mana left, could go for the steal if he times it right, but Miracle looking for the kills outside of the pit, finds Lanham, Lanham will fall. Buyback's actually going to come out from the Naga Siren, even though he doesn't have the song. There we go, Ori, starting play around. Oh, he gets the kill, but again, Mind Control is able to pick up the Aegis. Ori has to sort of get out of there. 11 has turned up, offering some hefty right click, but not quite the same amount of right clicks that Miracle does. Has to Shadow Blade, back himself away. Mind Control will take a missile. 11, is he going to be tempted to go for that kill? No, he's playing it safe. He's getting out of it.
Got Paparazzi there, though, with that blink forward. And again,
that's crazy.
They get the last hit.
They just can't get that roast. They can't get the Aegis.
Cheese.
They can't get the Aegis and the cheese. So what we've got the Aegis and the cheese on at the moment for
Aegis
Liquid.
on Mind Control, cheese is on Terrorblade.
That's the thing. I mean, the kill's nice and all, but you really make that play because you want to take the Aegis and cheese away. The kill is in comparison, it's not really anything significant at this stage.
The Storm had to expend pretty much his majority of his mana pool to bring down GH, and his rest of his team, they were slept up. That Stolen Sleep, again, Kuroki putting in so much work on this Rubik.
Yeah, we're seeing sort of the pains of the sort of having to try and fight against this Coddle with that Ghost Scepter. We'll see this fight again, where Ori comes in, and as you say, Mind Control, just straight with the reaction. Bashing in.
They get the lift off on the Storm too.
And he just can't grab any of the items.
It's like one of those panic situations too, because Lanham, I'm pretty sure he had Riptide or one of his other spells up, but he's just like focused so much on having to sleep and trying to isolate heroes, but gets it stolen, hurting them quite a lot in that fight. And they did recover the gem too on Liquid, and look who has the cheese too. That's how important this guy is for the team.
I mean,
the coddle.
Absolutely. They know if they can keep the coddle alive, if GH can survive that initial jump in from Ori. I mean, as you said already, when Ori jumps in on GH, the Storm consumes a lot of his own mana.
Yeah.
So if you just make it so that he sort of has to effectively fight through GH twice with that cheese, certainly the Storm has to make a decision. Does he really want to go for GH? Because it's going to cost him so much of his mana that he is going to be in an incredibly vulnerable position after he gets the kill, even if he does.
My control's just in.
He is. He does have the Aegis, of course. But yeah, playing very aggressively. That will be the Aegis gone. Maybe Vici Gaming can just choose to disengage after that. The Glimpse Pack will be on to man, but he pops the BKB, stands his ground against Fenrir. The rest of VG looking to get out. If they can get everyone else out of there, this is not too bad of a play. Sure, they lose a Disruptor, but they do at least take an Aegis away from that inevitable push.
And look at 11. He's just got that 0 cooldown on teleport, just going bottom, going top, going back and forth everywhere. Looking for Matu now.
Matu has to be careful. The mid lane, trying to do their best to stop Miracle. Miracle gets the Sunder off to Lanham, back to full health. Lanham not really in the place that he wanted to there, just gave Miracle a free full HP.
Miracle has Rapier and Quick Buy, by the way.
Mind control. 11.
11.
He gets the racks. That's his job done. He didn't mind dying. He just got the melee racks. He's got buyback if it's needed. Mid lane, Ori zipping in straight away with the pull. There's going to be a buyback on 11, wanting to get involved in this fight. BKB on Ori. Final bits of mana used to get out of there. They've got the song as well for Lanham. Look at old 11. He's buying back to push. He's buying back to keep the rat on.
He can't get caught out though.
I mean,
if he dies, the game is going to be pretty much over for them here. Liquid.
But look
now
at him
backing
go.
up. They're giving the respect.
They
to
are.
him.
Everyone, you've got to get back and deal with this Nature's Prophet. They know, as you say, if they get low 11 now, the game is probably over.
They have 0 TPs on the side of Liquid too, so they are a bit afraid of that push right now.
Oh my goodness.
1k gold lead now. It's been swung back quite heavily from Vici's favor, which
Look
they
at
had
the building damage
big
as well.
advantage.
Not any surprises there, really.
Of course, yeah.
Over 9,000, of course, for 11. And yeah, this Nature's Prophet 11. This guy wants to win. He is putting in all the effort this match, and it really is quite something to watch.
Miracle still has the Rapier queued up.
I mean, I don't think he doesn't need a Rapier. Does he need a Rapier? Is it worth the risk? I mean, I'd love to see the Rapier on this Terrorblade, but I feel like it's not necessary. He could definitely go for sort of safer items, other sort of right clicks, but
There's always safer items, but if it wins you the game, it's
guess,
the right item, right?
I mean, that's the thing, and I guess the idea behind the Rapier this game is that there's just no chance any sort of trade's ever going to be possible for 11 to achieve with his own split push. Like, you're always going to be pushing just infinitely faster than a Nature's Prophet can rat, and as you say, absolutely ending the game with that Rapier damage.
This was all during nighttime, those last few moments that Liquid was looking to take fights. They had that DD, of course, on the Terrorblade for the start of it when My Control blinked in, but they're just still getting aggressive during nighttime. Miracle. Spots 11, says hello, sells his items, buys the Rapier.
Oh boy, he's going in, ladies and gentlemen. Miracle.
They should be able to
Terrorblade
spot this,
Rapier.
but they're looking to end the game right now.
They are. If they go down a lane, the speed that these towers are going to fall is going to be quite something. Vici Gaming.
This is what we call the GG
Oh
Rapier.
my
They
goodness.
just want to close this game
They
out. They're
do.
sick of 11.
They are done. They are done with this Nature's Prophet rat. They want to end it. So we've seen they've got the means to keep a Miracle alive. They're just going straight for the tier 4s. Liquid.
cliff.
How do they stop this, Ori? Zips in, finds the grab onto Miracle. There's a missile going his way as well, but he does still have the BKB. Miracle, quick Sunder. Thank you again, Lanham. Gets him back up to full HP. They're just pushing on. Paparazzi posts the BKB, but look at this damage from Miracle. Paparazzi forced back. The song comes out, but Miracle's already BKB'd Lanham. You're just walking in to die. Miracle gets the kill on the Naga Siren. The Aegis is exposed.
The Aegis
and
is
that
dead.
Rapier purchase, one of the smartest Rapier purchases I've seen in a while. It just ends the game. Miracle knows exactly what to do. He does it, and they get the win.
They didn't want this to go later. They just wanted to close it out.
I mean, that is the difference between sort of Liquid and a lot of other teams that we see. You know, other teams will be in that situation, and they'd be like, what do we do? There's split pushes going on. We can keep sort of playing at this pace. But Liquid, I don't know if it was Miracle on his own who made the call, or maybe Kuro said, you got to get that Rapier. And bam, it just ended the game just like that. No other item would have done that. Any other item would have kept the game going, and there would always have been that inevitable threat of 11 doing some major things in response.
I can't believe how he killed those buildings and he killed everything so fast with that Rapier. That was absolutely incredible. Vici was very close throughout that entire game, but What time was it that he bought the rapier? now?
It's got to be about a minute before the
They
end.
ended the game
It
within
was-
a minute of the rapier purchase. Or
It has
something.
to be. Like, that was just instant.
What was the time?
Let's have a look. So
exactly?
he picks up the rapier at 41:22.
And they ended it within 58
So
seconds.
within a minute. Yeah, with 50, wow.
That's-
Within a minute
that's
of picking up the rapier.
decision-making.
That is.
That's just...
Because no other Ryan would have done that. If he
No,
bought
nothing
anything
else.
else, the game would not have ended like that. But wow, ladies and gentlemen, Liquid showing us that they are the masters of just closing up a game here, as they'll take game 1 against Vici Gaming.
Vodafone presents the post-match.
Well then, what do you know? Rapiers win matches. That's what we were talking about downstairs as we hurried back to the desk in preference for the post-match of that particular game. Alan?
You asked me earlier.
I did.
If anybody was making an early claim to that Mercedes.
For the MVP? Do Rapiers win Mercedes-Benz?
I think that rapier might be Miracle's first step, but I think in that loss, Old 11 started making his case.
Didn't he just?
9K building damage, the rest of his team combined under 2K. He almost carried that game solo.
Yeah, he did. When he bought back as well and he pushed, I was like, whoa, what's he doing? And then actually you realize they've got no TPs anyway, so they couldn't have got back.
That's to me the most entertaining thing that you see when you see two teams playing this level of Dota is that pushing the envelope of risk and return. You saw both of those teams take incredible risk, willing to lay the game on the line to pull out the win.
Yeah, it's great watching two good teams like that, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I definitely agree with Old 11 so far, but in 2 of the matches he's played so far today, he's been playing super well. Either way, seeing a rapier purchase like that, especially for how rapidly it was from like rapier, and then Coddle's like, all right, guys, let's go. Just starts recalling people. And he's like, all right, we're going down mid, let's go. No boots, don't need them.
Yeah.
That's
No, never mind the racks, just throw.
Oh, they killed the racks.
Yeah.
And you usually try to hide it,
got
right?
one.
He bought it standing in the middle of the Nature's Prophet treants, so they knew right away, but it didn't matter
It's
because
okay,
Coddle just
yeah.
pulled him in.
The only way that would have been mad is if somehow all of Vici kills him in that moment. I mean, he knew where he was about to go. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, it was fun. Will, enjoyed?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so we talked about it before. Vici, or playing against Liquid, like what Vici have to do, they did a much better job of the early game.
They did, didn't they?
Yes.
It
the
was
mid game
good.
Went reasonably well as well, but you're talking about Liquid. I told you they have this R around them. You have to close out games. Having 4K leads doesn't matter. You can have the top 3 net worth in the game. Closing out the game is all that matters. Liquid, too many teams have been, close, but sorry you lost. Doesn't really matter. Vici had a lot of promising moments, but I think when it comes to the team fights, they just don't really have it. Like, that's the downside of Nature's Prophet in this meta, is that yes, he can split push, but he's kind of worthless when it comes to these fights.
Right.
Like, oftentimes. Like, don't you feel that too? He doesn't provide anything. Like, He
ultis and he has items,
Yeah.
and that's it. Yeah.
He just right-clicks you. And so he needs an overwhelming amount of net worth to try to end the game. And if you're not that far ahead into the game, it feels really weird because even this 4K lead, you're represented by a hero that doesn't come with a natural stun, a natural gap close.
Natural anything, really.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think this is directly contradicting what you're saying, but I actually felt, given the lineup, I felt like they executed the team fights really, really well. You just saw the replay. Paparazzi getting away with a sliver of health, ending up getting denied to the Ancients. I just felt like they really abused the Naga reset button to offset some of the lack of natural team fight presence on the side of the Nature's Prophet. I don't know. I don't think this really comes down to draft. I think Vici played their draft really well. I just think Liquid played a little better.
So, doesn't that mean it came down to the draft?
No, I don't think if Vici had this to do over again in Game 2 that they would. I think they'd play this game again. I really do. I think that
Do they lose again though, Alan?
I don't know. I think anytime
does
the
it
game
not come back to what Will said in that they do have this? Look at this. Look, that's cheek. That was
It
cheek
is.
right there. Just a bit of brushing off of the shoulder. But does it not come back to the fact that you can do all these cool things? You can draft well. You can play well. You can execute the way that your draft has been built together. But it still doesn't matter sometimes because Liquid can come up with a completely different way of beating you.
Like
that's what good teams do.
Like Will said, Prophet doesn't really kill anybody. Storm has trouble killing people in that game, especially against like Sunder and BKBs, and Rubik can save somebody, and they have a Glimmer Cape, and they have Force Staff, and they have a Coddle to heal and Blinding Light and stuff. It's like it was very hard for Vici Gaming to win a fight at some point. They could push lanes really well. They could evade some aspects of team fight danger because of Naga Sleep, but it wasn't enough to actually convincingly win a fight.
The problem is when you play against Coddle, you don't get to get away with this split push stuff because at the end of the day, like, he can always just recall. And so
Yeah.
that means inherently you're going to have to run into a team fight one way or another. It's really inevitable in this kind of game. Like,
I don't know. I'm maybe just like misreading the tone of what you guys are saying. I look at this game and the game was dead even, and I mean Liquid relied on a sort of surprise rapier purchase to win, and that's great. I mean, they're a great team. They're going to do that. They're going to win like that. But I don't think if you're Vici, you're like, man, we messed up that draft, or man, we really messed up X in that game. I think you're saying, okay, this is a world-class team. They played a little better than us. You tip your cap. You move on to the next game.
I think the rapier pursuit was really nice, but I think they felt comfortable winning that game anyways. They were just like, okay, well, game's over. They can't kill our TB.
They kind of got fed up. It's time to win the game now.
So that's kind of the thing that, to me, that's where you really have to make the decision of, was the rapier purchase and, oh crap, we better end this game right now because we think they have the advantage late, or was it, we might as well just do this?
No, I think they couldn't counter it.
When I first saw it, that was my thought, but afterwards I think it was like we know that if we get this right now, the game is over, because we're not going to make a mistake, and TB's going to be there, and they can't kill him very easily, so just buy the rapier and end it.
They have no buybacks. Like, the game functionally is over at that point. Like, I think if you play about as good as you can play and you still lose, like, for me, it has to be draft related. Because I see way too many games, especially when Nature's Prophet gets really far ahead. That's why you don't see this hero very often. Like, it had such a huge drop-off, and everyone's like, why? It's because it's a lot of empty net worth. Like, this hero, you get 6 slotted much faster than most heroes, but at the same time, like, you die a lot easier than almost every hero does, because you don't have this natural escape function. So once your BKB starts to get limited, your team fight becomes very mediocre in that regard, and then you start to fall off. Whereas, like, Liquid have 5 functional heroes that can fight at all phases of the game at all times. Like, they have 3 very strong cores with good team fight. You have to get on top of the TB. You saw oftentimes, like, they would set up Song just to get to the Coddle in the backlines. Like, what are you supposed to do about that?
Okay, well, that's good. I think we've learned something there. At least I have. I know you, if you're new to Dota, you may have learned something. Nature's Prophet bad, Rapier good. We'll be back very shortly with game number 2 and see whether someone else can stake their claim for a Mercedes-Benz and a place in the upper bracket final. We'll see you soon.
Miracle under half health in this very low HP terribly. We'll let you go here. Fenrir steps a little too far forward. That's your first blood there. You've got to be careful on Vici Gaming.
So much damage.
Life is all about following a few simple rules. Get married.